So, what makes a great leader? Well, I think most of us have some strong opinions on what a poor leader looks like, but wouldn't it be good to learn how to become a great leader in our own home, our church, or in the workplace? Well, today's guest has some great advice on this. Joining us from Tucson, Arizona is Dr. Kevin Leman. He's a psychologist and best-selling author. In fact, you've probably seen him on Oprah, The View, Good Morning America, Focus on the Family, and his latest book is Be a Great Leader by Friday. Good to have you with us, Dr. Leman.
It's good to be with you. Let's talk.
Okay, so the title alone is a little bit humorous, but you have this whole series of books about accomplishing some great, almost outlandish task by Friday, don't you? I looked you up. I've seen how to have a new husband by Friday, have a new kid by Friday.
Well,
What's going
actually,
on?
they have a new kid and they have a new husband. Uh, those titles are very misleading because you could have a new kid by Wednesday and a new husband. Uh, for example, women love to ask us men questions. I'm here to tell you, we hate your questions. I didn't say we dislike them. I said we hate them. And we hate the why word. Well, women love the why word. They're like the inquiring minds want to know. And ladies tell me all the time, if I wouldn't ask my husband a question, I'd never get any information out of him. I say, "Oh,
It's
ask for
so true. Okay, you hate questions, but unfortunately, you're stuck with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to ask you some questions. So,
well, you can ask my opinion to get more out of me.
yeah, okay, so Dr. Lehman, in your latest book, you're tackling leadership. So, what's the most important thing any leader needs to know?
Well, any leader, male or female, has to understand that leadership is personal with a capital P. And it's all about relationships, relationships, relationships. If you have to tell someone you're the leader, I got news for you, Jack or Jill, you're not a leader. So that's the most important thing. You have to be transparent and there has to be an authenticity to you. And if those things are missing, you're not going to be an effective leader.
Interesting. Now, do you consider yourself a leader?
Well, I guess I am. I'm the founder of 8 charter schools, 6 in Arizona and 2 in Colorado. But the amusing thing about that, I mean, I can amuse myself just talking about my background. I graduated fourth and bottom of my class in high school, couldn't get in college, finally got admitted to college on probation, got thrown out of college a year later, moved from Buffalo, New York to Tucson, got a job as a janitor, met my wife in the men's room of a hospital,
Wow.
and she was the key person that God used to turn my entire life in a different direction. So I'm one of those guys who did some things in life, but no one ever expected me to do anything.
Wow. Not many people can say that they met their wife in a men's room either. So
No, not me.
that's a meet cute right there. So, why and how did you pursue leadership?
Well, I've written 71 books, and leadership today, I think you would agree, is missing, uh, not only in your country, but mine, at almost every level. And of course, leaders tend to fall into 3 basic categories. They're the authoritarians who say, hey, I'm the boss, you're going to do what I tell you to do. Well, good luck with that. And then there's the permissives who are driven to be liked by everybody. Well, good luck with that. And the one that I would like to help create is the authoritative leader, where your yes is yes, your no is no, you're willing to make tough decisions, but you are transparent. And get this, they don't care what you know until they know you care. So it goes back to relationships, relationships, relationships. This isn't rocket science. I'm not smart enough to write a complicated book. All my books tend to be fun, practical. People like them, thank God. That's why I'm still writing books. I thought I was done, and a publisher came along and said, I'd love you to do a book on leadership and one on teachers. And so my next book in April is Be a Great Teacher by Friday. I'm stuck on
You're
Friday.
stuck on Friday. It's a good day of the week. People like Friday. But Dr. Leman, I think you're most well known for your birth order books. So, what
Right.
exactly is birth order, and how does it help you understand other people, like your coworker, your father, your teenagers, or your mother-in-law?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I go to New York and do one of the morning shows, my publisher always says, don't mention birth order because the host always finds it so fascinating
Oh boy.
that these three or four little cubs could come out of the same den, but they're different. And I say, to answer your question, birth order is the dynamic, fluid relationship that exists between parent and child and
Mm.
siblings with one another. And every firstborn, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. You are the lab rat of the family. Your parents practiced on you. They didn't have
Okay.
a clue what to do with that little 19-incher. And by the way, most of the people in your profession are firstborn children. Okay.
Are you serious?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, all those talk show, what do you think Oprah is? And all those people. I mean, uh, the comedians, for example, like Billy Crystal, Eddie Murphy, Drew Carey, Jim Carrey, Martin Short, Chevy Chase, Steve Martin. Guess what? They're all babies.
They're the
So they're the
babies
ones
of the family.
people
Okay.
laugh. So firstborns tend to be reliable, conscientious list makers. They overplan
Mm.
things. They get in trouble for what their kid sister or brother did. I don't care what she did. You are the oldest. I expect more of you, young woman. So that's the mantra that us parents throw on the firstborns. The secondborn, almost predictably, A is to B type predictability, is opposite of the firstborn. In fact, you might find this to be amusing. The title of the birth order book, when it went to the publisher with cardboard and rubber bands, was named, and I still think it was a great title, Abel Had It Coming. And the
Oh
publisher said,
gosh.
Abel Had It Coming? You can't have a title like that. I said, it's a great title. But anyway,
It gets people's attention, that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. According to your writings, which two people would you not put together in the same room without supervision?
Well, the two firstborns.
Mm,
Without supervision?
yeah.
Oh, the babies of the family.
Okay.
Oh, the babies would do everything but tackle the task you give them. They're having fun. But what's interesting about your question is this. If you look at marriage, the best matches are not firstborn and firstborn or
Mm,
only born and only born. They're firstborn and youngest or firstborn and middle.
that's weird. That's what my husband and I are, firstborn and youngest.
Perfect. I married the firstborn who can spot a flaw at 50 paces, and I'm the baby of the family. We've been married for 57 years in a row. And we've been happily married because I was so stupid. I asked her the question. I said, are we happily married? And she said, you're very happily married, as I recall. That was the other
She
conversation.
told you. Yes, she
Oh, yeah.
did. Okay, so Dr. Lehman, what's the best way to prompt change in another person's behavior? I don't know, that
Well,
sounds loaded to me.
yeah, I like that question because as a leader, you can't assume that people see life the way you do. Firstborn children, for example, will buy an automobile, a car, completely different than the youngest child in the family. The firstborn will read Car and Driver magazine and they love the specification page. Us babies of the family could care less. You know, we'll go on a car lot and go, Shazam! Do you have a teal green one with gold trim? I'll take it. 60 payments later, we wonder why we bought that stupid car. But you have to get as a leader, you have to know who you're leading. So, again, put it in a little different sentence. You can't lead people you don't know. So it gets back to leadership is personal. And it's not only getting that person on the bus, it's getting them on the right seat on the bus that's important. So, birth order, and again, I would tell anybody in business don't ever ask somebody what their birth order is, okay? They'll think you're nuts.
Don't put it on your resume, in other words.
Right. But you might say, hey, tell me about yourself. Where did you grow up, for example? And just listen. And you'll figure out their birth order really quickly. If you came to my sister's house in Jamestown, New York, the first thing you would see is the clear vinyl runner. There's a message there. Don't walk on the blue carpet. Her kids were color coordinated from birth. She marries a dentist, and his motto is find the hole, drill the hole, fill the hole. And by the way, dentists are notoriously firstborn or only born children. So getting into someone's head and seeing how they see life is really helps you strategize as a leader is the what person in my organization should be on this seat in the particular bus we're driving.
Oh, so interesting. Now, in your book, you write about 7 essential vitamins that we all
Yeah.
need. So, what are vitamins E and N, and why are they so important for a leader to understand?
Well, vitamin E is encouragement.
Okay.
Uh, it comes from a guy named Paul. I never caught his last name, but he said things in the Bible like encourage one another. Now, there's a difference between encouragement and praise. Let me tell you the difference. Encouragement talks about the action that an employee or maybe a kid did. For example, if a kid brings home 5 A's on a report card, that's sort of a surprise. What does a mother say? Oh, 5 A's. I am so proud of you. Oh, I can't wait to call grandma and Aunt Ethel and tell them about this. This is wonderful. Uh, Here's 5 kisses and a $20 bill. Now, that's praise. And I'm telling you, praise is destructive in relationships. And people say, did he say what I heard him say? Yes, I did. Praise is destructive. Encouragement. Here's an example. The kid brings home 5 A's and a B, or the employee does something wonderful. Wow, 5 A's. Honey, it looked like all that hard work you put in is really paying off. Congratulations. And guess what? You just saved yourself $20. So with the employee, hey, Smith, and this is personal. You write them a personal note, the power of the personal note. I believe in that. Put it in the mail. Let it come to that employee's home, even. Or if you're in the same building, walk down to the office and say, any chance you're free for lunch today? And take that person out to lunch and look them in the eye or her in the eye and say, listen, that was a fantastic job on that Foster report. You did a wonderful job. I just want to compliment you eyeball to eyeball, let you know how proud I am to have you be in our organization. My expectations for you are always high, and guess what? You always deliver. Now, those are words of encouragement. Those are words that I will run home, or a woman will run home and tell her husband about what the boss said about her today. So this isn't rocket science. It's very simple stuff. And the book is simple. It's an easy read. It's inexpensive. Uh, the other thing I would tell people, if you're really into leadership, read my book, The Way of the Shepherd. If you know anything about the book business, and I'm sure you do, a book stays in hardback for 1 year. They drop it into softback. The Way of the Shepherd's been in hardback for 20 years straight. It's still in hardback to this day. It sells like crazy. And don't take my word for it. Go on Amazon and read the reviews. They're 5-star reviews. Uh, so the stuff is good stuff. And for people who want to be a leader, this is a good book. For people who are CEOs or CFOs, it's a wonderful resource for you. For people who are managers, ditto. So it could be titled How to Be Successful in Life. And because the elements of success are on the pages of Be a Great Leader by Friday.
We don't have a lot of time left, but I mean, your book is filled with letters, as we were talking about vitamins E and N. By the way, I don't know if you mentioned what vitamin N was.
Oh, no, I did. Vitamin N, is that what we're talking about? I'm missing? Is
Yeah.
vitamin no. It's no. And sometimes this gets to disciplining employees. How do you discipline an employee? Well, you don't call them out in a meeting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you get them behind closed doors and you say, hey, listen, uh, I see your performance the last 6 months has gone really downhill, and there's got to be some reasons for that. Is
Uh-huh.
there anything personal I can help you with? So my first words out of my mouth is, can I help you with something?
That's great.
But then I'm going to go down that rabbit hole and say, listen, the bottom line is, after I exhaust all those issues, your performance has to improve. Or maybe we look for another seat on that bus for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And then speaking of letters, I think you also mentioned something, the 3 R's of
Oh yeah.
leadership.
Oh yeah. And it's relationships, relationships,
Okay,
relationships.
that one's, yeah. And then you
Yeah.
also have an ABCs of leadership. So we got
Yeah.
acceptance, belonging, and competence, right?
Yeah. Account. And again, that goes in parenthood. It goes in marriage. It goes in any type of leadership. People have to be accepted, they have to feel like they belong, and they have to develop competence or they fail.
Excellent. It looks like we're out of time, unfortunately, but I would love to dive more into this with you.
But let's do it
But
again
we
sometime.
should. Okay. Well, you know what? For now, though, thanks so much for being with us today, Dr. Leman. Really appreciate having you on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Kevin Leman is the author of Be a Great Leader by Friday. That is available wherever books are sold. I'm Jeanette Roche on behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News. Thanks so much for watching.